I'm Hyundai the Dietitian, and welcome to Healthy Made Simple, where I show you how to make healthy eating simple. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how I'm going to meal plan for some quick, easy, simple, and healthy meals. Now, this meal planning is going to be for our upcoming camping trip, but this applies whether you are going camping or not. These are just meant to be very simple and easy meal ideas that you can put together using minimal ingredients and minimal cooking as well. When we go camping, our options for cooking are either using the campfire, or we do have a propane stove with just one burner that we can use as well. So I try to keep one, the ingredients to a minimum so we don't have to bring a bunch of ingredients with us, and two, keep the cooking portion as simplistic as possible using what we have available. So I do hope that this gives you some ideas and you can apply this either during the week, on weekdays, weeknights, weekends, for some easy, healthy meal options that you can put together. Now, a lot of the ingredients I'm going to be using are things that are staples in our house that we like to keep in our fridge to begin with. So I don't have to do too much shopping in addition to what I already have. And I hope this gives you ideas in that sense too, about some staples that you can keep in your fridge that make it easy to put some healthy meals together. Now, I'll start by sharing my meal planning portion of this and walking you through how I'm going to meal plan for these meals. I'm going to be meal planning for 2 breakfast options, 1 lunch, and 2 dinner options for the whole weekend. And then I will actually show you how they all turn out while we're camping and how we cooked them up and what the final products look like for these meals. If you are interested, stay tuned to see how I'm going to put all of that together. Let's go! All right, let's start with our first dinner option. Now we're gonna get to our campsite Friday afternoon. So the first meal we'll be cooking there will be our dinner Friday night. And to keep it as simple as possible, I'm gonna do pizza. And I love having frozen pizza at home. This is one of my go-tos that I like to buy. This is just a family-sized tomato and cheese pizza from Trader Joe's. Another one of my favorite options to go to is the cauliflower crust pizza, the Kirkland brand one from Costco. That's kind of like an everything pizza with a cauliflower crust. I love that one as well too. And I like that with cauliflower crust, you get a little bit of extra veggies in there as well. This one's a really simple plain cheese pizza. It's a nice portion size. So I'm thinking this will be great to go on the campfire. Of course, if you were to be doing this at home, we would stick it in the oven. And just to kind of spice it up a little bit and add some extra ingredients on top, and also to increase the protein content of this meal as well. What I'm going to do is bring some sausages with us. And these are one of my favorites to go to. I buy these from Costco as well. These are the organic basil and cracked black pepper chicken sausages. It's a 2-pack. We've already used one of these packs, but there's 6 in each pack, and you get 2 packs of these from Costco. So I will bring this with us, and this will be a good option to have on hand. And I love using this as a really easy to go to protein option for those days where I'm trying not to cook a protein from, raw to cooked, and I want something that's going to be a lot easier to do. Now, with this cheese pizza, the serving size is a quarter of this pizza, and a quarter has 16 grams of protein, which is not bad, but one of these sausage links has 16 grams of protein just in itself, so that'll be a great additional protein to add on top of this. Now, if I was doing this at home, what I would do is I would slice these up and put it on top of the pizza. And I also like to add some extra fresh tomatoes on top as well too. Even though it does have tomato in the pizza, I just think that adding some fresh tomatoes really adds another layer of deliciousness to my pizza. And I have these tomatoes on the vine that I got from Costco. These are one of my favorite go-tos when it comes to tomatoes. And these stay really well. These have been in the fridge for about a week now, and they look perfectly fine. And as long as they stay on the vine, they stay really nice and delicious, and they don't spoil as easily. So I'm definitely going to be bringing these to use as an option for a couple different meals actually, and one of them being our pizza. Now, when I do this at home, what I would do is I would slice up the tomato, put that on top of the pizza, slice up the sausage, put that on top of the pizza, and stick it in the oven like that, and it turns out so delicious. When it comes to camping, what we'll probably need to do is cook up the sausage on the side and then add it on top once it's been warmed through. I think I could still add the tomato slices on top too. Of course, when you're cooking this over a campfire, you don't have heat coming from all directions. You just have heat coming from the bottom. So maybe we'll cover it with a foil on top just to help kind of warm up those tomatoes on top too, and then top it off with the sausage after it's been cooked. So that'll be our first meal in terms of the protein and the carb portion. And just to add a bit of extra veggies to it, because I do want some extra veggies on top. And if I had some salad kits at home, that's probably what I would bring. I'm fresh out of salad kits. We used up everything we have. That could always be a great option. That's kind of a go-to meal for me, of pizza with a salad kit on the side, or just homemade salad as well. But I don't have any right now, and I don't want to deal with bringing lettuce and all that with us. So what I'm going to do is actually bring some broccoli. And we love broccoli in our house. My little one loves to eat broccoli, so that's an easy vegetable for us to fit in. And these are the frozen broccoli packs from Costco. These are microwavable bags, so these are great for home when you want to do a broccoli option. And they're a decent sized bag. And this will go great in our cooler for camping as well too. And what I can do is cook this over our burner in a stove, just with some water, and kind of almost boil it up a little bit instead of steaming it. And that'll be a good side vegetable option. And I'll probably bring some spices too. We love topping this off with our everything seasoning on top to add some more flavor to it. So then we have pizza with a side of broccoli for a nice healthy dinner for our first night. So that'll be dinner number one, will be pizza with a side of broccoli, and that pizza is going to be topped with some sausages and tomatoes. All right, so let's move on to the next day, which is going to be breakfast for Saturday morning. All right, so for breakfast Saturday morning, I'm going to keep it really simple so I don't have to do too much cooking. And this is a great option for any of you, maybe on a weekday morning where you're trying to put together a really quick breakfast that doesn't require a lot of effort. I'm going to go with some protein waffles. These are the Kodiak brand ones. You can also do protein pancakes too. That's a really easy, simple option for the mornings. But what I love about these is these are pretty much ready to go, and all you have to do is stick them in your little toaster oven. So I have a little toaster oven. I put these in just for a few minutes and they're ready to go. I'll show you what they look like. They're these little mini waffles like that. They come in sets of 4 like this. So I'll bring this for us. I mean, they're starting to defrost already, just being out of the freezer right now. So what I'll do is I'll bring those, and just to add a little bit of extra protein on top, I always like to have some almond butter to dip them into. That goes great. You could either spread it on top or have it as a dip on the side. And then some honey for sweetness as well too. I'm personally skipping on this right now while I'm trying to lose weight, but I know my family likes to have some sweetness. So instead of doing syrup, we do honey usually for our sweetness, for our waffles and our pancakes to dip into. So that's going to be breakfast for Saturday morning, some protein waffles with almond butter and honey to keep it simple. And of course, I'm going to have fruit available for the whole weekend. I have a giant watermelon that I got from Costco, so I'm going to cut that up. And I also have some tangerines too, so those I'll have readily available so we can tack them on to breakfast or snacks or even any of our lunches and dinners too, just to have a fruit option on the side. But that is going to be breakfast for Saturday morning. And then next, let's move on to lunch. All right, for Saturday lunchtime, I'm going to go with wraps. Wraps are one of the easiest things you can make for lunch, and they're very simple to pack as well too. So if you're looking for a lunch option to go, it's a great way of putting some protein in there, some vegetables in there to get a nicely balanced lunch that's going to also keep you full. So for that, I'm going to bring my favorite tortillas. These are the Carb Balance flour tortillas from Mission that I like to buy from Costco. So I'm going to bring these, and these actually I will use for something else throughout our trip too, but that'll be for our wraps. That's going to be the base. For the protein, I'm going to use these fully cooked chicken breast bites. I get these from Costco, and these are a great option to throw into anything where you're trying to add more protein. They go great for lunches. So if you're looking for quick lunch options, something like this can be very helpful because it's already pre-cooked, it's already pre-packaged as well too. So all you have to do is just take it out of the package and throw it into your wrap and you're good to go. And you can even have it on the side too if you wanted to make a bowl of some sort as a protein option. And one of these pouches has 24 grams of protein, which is a decent amount that you're going to get to have one serving of this as your lunch option. So that's going to be the protein component of my wraps. And then I'm going to bring an English cucumber and just slice this up to throw that in there. I'll probably do like long, thin slices so it goes in nicely into my wrap. And then I'm also going to use those tomatoes, the same tomatoes that I'm planning on bringing. I probably won't bring this whole thing, just probably some of these tomatoes. But these are the same tomatoes that I use for my pizza that I'll also use for my wraps at lunchtime. It's always good to have ingredients like that, especially when you are planning for a whole weekend where you can use the same ingredients in multiple different meals so that you can make the most out of buying a bigger bulk of something. And then lastly, of course, to add more flavoring and deliciousness to that, I'm going to bring these guacamole cups. These are the Kirkland brand ones. I like these, and I also like the avocado mash ones. Sometimes when I see those, I'll buy those. I find that the avocado mash ones are more avocado based versus these have a lot more filler to make it guacamole. Either way, it tastes delicious, and it's a nice additional healthy fat to add on. And that'll kind of be my dressing for the wrap, so that it'll be a chicken of guacamole, tomato, cucumber wrap. That's going to be for lunchtime. And I know that's going to be a really nice filling meal for us. This will also be good to have as a snack option too. We'll bring some kind of chip type of things, healthier chip type of things to have with us. So guacamole will be a nice dip to have on the side as a snack as well. So that's going to be my lunchtime for Saturday, a nice little chicken guacamole wrap. All right, now let's move on to Saturday night dinner. All right, for Saturday dinner, I'm going to keep it really, really, really simple and actually use some instant ramen. And I got these from Trader Joe's. I actually really like these. There's so many different other instant ramens out there that you could go for, but I actually really like the taste of these, and I happened to be in Trader Joe's, so I had to pick some up for home. And I have just the regular miso one, the spicy miso one, which is by far my favorite, and the chicken one, which I have not tried before. But I'm going to bring these options. I have more of each of these to bring with us. So that'll be kind of our carb base, and that'll be the base of the meal. And of course, we're going to need to add some protein and vegetables to that. The vegetables I'm planning on adding will be this frozen bag of mixed veggies with peas, carrots, and green beans in there. And this will be a nice addition, and I can add it directly to the bowl here, to the soup once it's been cooked up, so that it kind of cooks in there with it. And this frozen bag will probably be a little bit defrosted by the time we get around to it. Now, if I was making this at home, I would absolutely use this, and I would also use more veggies in there too. If we end up having some extra broccoli, I would do that. If I were to do an instant ramen at home as a meal option, I would actually take it out of its container and put it in a bigger bowl so I can fill it with lots of other veggies in there and some protein, of course, too, to make it a nice complete meal. But just for ease and convenience during camping, I'm going to try to keep it to this container and just add the veggies into this so that everything stays in one place. And of course, it's going to need some protein. If I was making it at home, an egg or two would go great in there as a protein option. But since we're going to be camping, I'm going to do some meatballs that I'm going to bring with us. And I know that you might think meatballs and ramen don't really go well together. It absolutely could go well together. These ones we're going to actually probably grill up over the campfire and then have on the side with the soup. And I love doing soup while camping. There's just something about it at night when it gets cold, especially a nice spicy soup, just tastes so good. So that'll be a nice hearty meal for us for nighttime. Now, I do know that this is pretty low in vegetables compared to what I typically like to do. I like to aim for at least half of my plate to be veggies, and this is a pretty small bag of vegetables that I'm adding in, and not the leanest protein either, but we're doing the best we can while camping. Maybe if I have time to stop by the store, I may pick up some extra vegetable options to add on the side, like maybe a salad or even some corn that we can grill up on the campfire. So I'll look into that if I do, but if not, even this should be sufficient enough because we have a full day of meals that we're already putting together, as I've shown you so far, coming up to Saturday night. Plus, we're going to have snacks in between. So somewhat of a lighter dinner like this with just some soup, some ramen soup, some meatballs, and a little bit of veggies in there should be enough for us probably by nighttime. And this is a really quick and easy meal that you can make at home too. If it's one of those nights where you really don't have a lot of time to cook and you want to take advantage of something like this that's already prepackaged, by just adding in some vegetables, adding in protein to make it a nice, full, complete meal. All right, that is Saturday night, and that covers most of our weekend. Now, all we have left is Sunday breakfast. So let's talk about that next. All right, Sunday breakfast, gonna keep it super, super simple and just use up ingredients that I already have brought with us for this trip. I'm gonna do a almond butter wrap. So for that, again, I use my tortillas, and I like that these are higher in fiber and protein, so they'll keep us full even though it's gonna look like a small breakfast option. So I'm gonna do a tortilla with some almond butter and a little bit of honey drizzle in there too for some sweetness. And I typically like to take the flour tortilla, put the almond butter on one side of it, drizzle a honey in there, and close it up to have a nice little wrap. So that'll be a really easy breakfast option, and that is such a simple breakfast option as well if you're looking for something like that, especially during the week if you're kind of busy in the mornings, heading off to work or school or running errands, and you just want something quick. This is one of our go-tos. I make this at least a few times a week for my son, and I enjoy eating it as well too, of just doing, some tortilla with some almond butter and a little bit of honey. And if I was making this at home, of course, I would put a bunch of hemp seeds in there. You can also add in some chia seeds too. It has a little bit of crunch with the chia seeds, but I do like the flavor of the hemp seeds in there. And I've done a video on that before too, but that's a really simple breakfast option for you to incorporate throughout the week. And that'll be our Sunday breakfast because we want to keep that nice and quick since we got to pack up everything and head on home afterwards. So I don't want this intricate, big breakfast option, and something really, really simple for the morning. And of course, if we have anything left over from any of our other meals and snacks, and I'm sure there'll be some fruit left over as well, we'll have that on the side in addition. But that covers our meals for the whole weekend. Next, I'll show you some clips from our camping trip of how these meals actually turned out when we cook them up so that you get to see how that works out in a camping setting. And of course, you can make any of these at home as well too, but at least you'll get to see that it's possible even with limited cooking options while camping. So if you have a full kitchen at home, these will be really easy to put together as well. So let's take a look at our camping trip and see how these meals turned out.
We actually ended up grilling the broccoli and the sausage in the same pan over the fire to begin with. And then I took those cooked sausages and put it on top of our pizza along with some fresh tomatoes. And this turned out absolutely amazing. It tasted like a wood fire pizza. And this was my starting portion. I had multiple servings of this and it was such a delicious, filling meal. And the portion size of that pizza and the broccoli was perfect for all three of us to be full that night. Now for Saturday breakfast, those mini waffles actually had defrosted quite a bit, so I didn't even end up warming them up. We just had them as is with some almond butter and some honey on the side. And I also cut up some apples that I had brought with us to have a fruit option with it. And then for lunch, this was the wrap we put together with that chicken, the tomatoes, the cucumbers, and the guacamole. And this was so filling. I only ended up having one of these, and it held up pretty well together actually. And it was such a nicely filling meal for lunchtime. And then for Saturday dinner, these were the meatballs that we grilled up over the fire with some skewers. And I actually had my dad with me, and he helped grill these up for us at night. And then I ended up bringing some salad kits just because I felt like we needed some extra veggies on the side for dinner time. So I had 2 different salads, and then there's that ramen soup. And I ended up not using those frozen mixed veggies because they got a lot of water in them in the cooler, but we at least had the salad as our veggie option on the side with it. And there's that salad I had with some meatballs, and the ramen all together was really filling. And this was a smaller portion for me because I was so full from the day. And then lastly, for Sunday breakfast, I had intended on making these wraps, these almond butter tortilla honey wraps, and this is a clip from a video that I had done on this previously. This was my original intention for our Sunday breakfast, but my parents ended up coming with us and they brought some other goodies for breakfast, so I actually ended up having a bagel with some of those leftover tomatoes, an egg on the side, and then we had some tangies left over as well to create a full breakfast.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps give you ideas about how you can meal plan and cook some very easy, simple, healthy meals for yourself and your family. I think a lot of us do get stuck in a rut sometimes and we run out of ideas. I mean, we have a whole lifetime of meals to plan for. So I always like to share ideas of what I like to do, and some things we kind of stay consistent with, some things I like to change up over time. And hopefully my ideas give you ideas as well about how you can make some really easy, healthy meals at home in a very simple way using minimal ingredients as well. All right. Thank you again so much for watching. If you have not already done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for future videos where I'll continue to share tips and tricks like this one on how to make healthy eating simple. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.